Hey, Leslie, how you going?
Morning, or what am I, afternoon?
It's morning. It's 9:01 in the morning, but I think probably like yourself, I haven't had much sleep, so it feels like I don't really know what's going on or what time it is. All I know is that I feel sick in my stomach, but quietly hopeful, and I'm sure you totally understand, my friend.
I do. Thank you for giving a damn. Thank you for, holding out hope for us all the way over here. It means a lot.
We absolutely are sending all of our love and hope for fairness and for equality and for some semblance of sanity to return to the world. And yeah, we need to be
Yeah.
unified. And I mean, music is for me the great unifier. And I know that you totally feel that. So, what a time to be someone that's making music and making art to put out into the world, hey?
Well, it is my best shot at making a difference, at making something that can move any kind of, can move the needle, can start a conversation. I know that um, I've really learned to look at that cute dog. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, honey. It's raining outside, so she's got a very wet little snooty. Come here, say hi to Leslie. No, okay.
That is a pretty dog.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
honey girl.
Uh, Learned that, there's something about social media that kind of leads us all to believe that that's the best way for all of us to make a difference.
Mm.
Um, and maybe it is if that's if that's what you do, if that's your primary thing. But I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I make things. I'm a creative. And so I always know that if I want to make a difference, if I want to say something, the best way for me to do that is through my music, is on stage, is in a movie. So
Amen. I love it. For you, when you think back to kind of when you first discovered music as something that moved you to change into action and to see the world differently. I mean, it's a big question, but what are some of the early artists, or maybe even more specifically the songs that first made you feel that, oof?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I remember the first pop song that I knew, that I really knew all the words of. I'm gonna date myself here, right? But it was Whitney Houston. So first of all, it was Whitney Houston, that pristine, gorgeous voice, and she was singing the greatest love of all. So she wasn't singing about how beautiful how sexy she was, how pretty she was, how good she could dance. She was the first lines of that song. I believe the children are the future. Like, so I connected right from the beginning that, you know, major popular success could be tied to um, a message like that, a message about hope for the future and humanity and stuff like that. So it was that, and it was, now the coda to his life is very sad and confusing and
Mm.
all that. But Michael Jackson was the biggest star on the planet when I was coming up, and Michael built worlds. Michael brought us together through the power of music, which is why it is so hurtful and so painful when somebody uses a gift like that, a platform like that, to do nefarious things.
Yeah.
That's what's so about the legacy. But I can't, just undeniable, his influence on me. And then I'll say probably later, like when I was a teenager, there was a show that came out called Rent
Oh,
that
December 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From here on in, I shoot without a script. Me too. That was a big one for me.
right. And that's, for a lot of us, there's a whole generation of practitioners, of theater practitioners and artists that were brought to this world through that show. It's what Hamilton is doing for a whole new group of kids and young people. So yeah, that just I Michael built worlds, and Rent, when Rent kind of you know was the bat signal, kind of like beckoned the way to the theater. I got to the theater and I was like, oh, you can build worlds here. It's like Michael, so
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And all these years later, I mean, look at the career you've had and are having and continue to have. I mean, you've teamed up with, I mean, we're so proud of Sia here in Australia because she's just such a force of light, and I think she's built her own world and showed us that you can do things a completely different way. You can shun the shitty parts of celebrity and focus on the light and the love and the color and all of those beautiful explosions. So what was it that drew you to her?
Same thing, what you just said, it was that, yes, she built worlds. Sia builds worlds. And so I never in a million years imagined that I would work with Sia on any capacity, but she came to see the show. She came to see Hamilton, and I met her backstage and, just gushed over what a fan I was. And fast forward, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, I got a social media, I got a message from Sia on Twitter, and she wanted to have lunch because she said there was this movie, this film she'd written that she was trying to get made and she was going to direct. And so we had lunch, and of course, I signed on to be a part of it. And we've stayed friends ever since. And so when I put out, I've been migrating more and more into the pop space because, as I just told you, my early influences were pop music, and so I've been trying to just, dip my toe in the water, and it is it is a whole different world with a different set of expectations. And you can't take it for granted that just because you have success on Broadway, that does not guarantee pop success, and vice versa.
Mm.
Every pop singer, you can't take every brilliant pop singer and slap them, plop them on a Broadway stage and think that they're going to know what it's all about. You have to humble yourself and take a second and learn what's required in the new medium. And so that's what I've been doing within the music industry, and with you know thanks to, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but Sia has been a really great friend and has given me some really great advice as I've tried to do that. And she lent me her beautiful voice and her talent, her light on this song Cold, that she believed in from my first album. And I'm so happy with the collaboration. Jesse Shatkin produced it. Jesse Shatkin also produced Chandelier for Sia. So it was my first time working with him, in the music space. And so, yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Did you get to make it, like, what did it look like? Because I know these days, I mean, having two vocalists in the studio at the same time is so rare. So how did this kind of happen?
Yeah, that you're right. Jesse built the track. If you go and listen to both versions, our version was like the little indie pop version, stadium worthy. He made it Sia worthy once she said she wanted to do it. So he sped it up and he just made the production bigger and more radio, and just, like everything that you need in that market. Um, all the toys and the bells and whistles. And so, and then he sent it to, after I signed off on it, he sent that to Sia. And listen, I'm not going to be in the studio telling Sia where to take her breath and stuff.
I got some notes on the vocal C if you just want to get a notebook and pen out.
Kidding. So no, listen. So Sia takes it for, I don't know, 3 weeks, and it's just like, gonna do her thing on it. I'm like, baby, send it back to me when you love it. If you love it, I will worship it. So she sends us back something that was just far exceeded our expectations and was just so beautiful. And so then I had to go back in the studio and kind of join her. I had to do worthy of what she'd given us.
Oh, that's so magic. I remember maybe it was earlier this year or last year, I was speaking to Ryan Tedder and he was talking about how he'd written Halo. And he heard that maybe Beyonce wanted it, but didn't know. And, it's Queen Bee. You don't just you don't go with her and you just know one day when it's finished. And months pass and he's like, okay, well, maybe Beyonce doesn't want the song. I'm going to get in contact with her people and say, I think if she's not going to use it, cool, but I'll take it back. And they're like, no, 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 no. And then boom, he gets a completely finished version of Halo, radio worthy with Beyonce's vocal. Like, how amazing would that feel?
Wow, that's a similar experience. Yeah.
Mm.
I remember when we wrote Cold. I took 15 writers up to George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch like 2 years ago to write this record, but just because we knew we were just never going to get it finished if we didn't like bring everybody
Yeah.
under one roof and work on it all at once. It was just so. But I remember when Cold was written, and how much I believed in it, how much I loved it. It's like, I have a kid now too, so I see
Ah,
the
congrats.
parallel, like watching this little baby be born, and then yeah, when Sia hops on it, and I don't know, it's like your little baby going to grad school or something. I
I
don't know.
love it. It's so wonderful, mate. Thank you so much for sharing your spirit and the story with us. We love the song. We can't wait to see the film when it comes out. And it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
Having me.